Gosh, I feel like a superstar.
All right, so very warm welcome again to the Zoom room, to this evening session, the Awesome Lingo course, day 9. We're on to which is we're going to be covering the text reading for today from section 1 of chapter 2. It's called The Origins of Separation. So we're on to a new chapter. Let me just share my screen. And there you are, Susie. Let's just get, no, not that one. Separation, yeah, there we go, that's what we wanted. Okay, so origins of separation. Done a little bit of translation already to help matters. So who would like to start? John, why don't you kick us off with paragraph 1, please? Just read it. I think it works well to do sentence by sentence, don't you? I think well.
Good. To extend is a fundamental aspect of God, which he gave to his Son. To extend is a fundamental aspect of pure formless awareness of perfect love, which he gave to his extension.
Yeah, so let's do more translation there. So that's which it gave to its extension.
So I think that one.
Yeah.
This idea of the fundamental aspect of, we might ask, why does pure formless awareness want to extend, of course?
Well, it's not really extending in the sense of time and space. I think we apply time space ideas to these concepts. To extend to sort of means to extend into space. Obviously, there is no space in pure formless awareness. It's timeless and it has no space. So the way I interpret it is it's like that original essence. It's always there. This pure formless awareness, always there. And as we connect with it more, we feel its extension to us. See what I mean? We connect with it, so we feel like it's extending to us in our dream of separation. That's our perspective of it from the separated illusion of separate self and reality. But actually it's always there. The awareness is always there. So it's really, we're just becoming aware of what was always there, and it's never really changed. But to us it feels like God, pure formless awareness, extending to us. So extension is part of the beingness, because it's all encompassing, it's all being, it's everywhere, then, naturally it's extended everywhere. It's everywhere by definition. And it's already there. It's not like extending somewhere it wasn't. It's already there.
Okay. Yeah. So it is already everywhere. And
then we become aware of it.
Yeah.
That feels like, oh, God's extending to us. This is extending to me.
Yeah.
And then it's saying, well, I can then extend as well. So it's already everywhere, but if we block it, then we have the illusion that it's not everywhere.
Yeah.
If I block it, I block the natural flow or extension of that energy we call love outwards. He's saying, actually, your natural function is to extend it, just as it's seemingly extended from your source to you, to extend it to others in your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Then there's a natural extension of that source through the line of creation.
Yeah. Okay. Got that.
And there's no block. There's nothing separating it. And then you become aware, the more you're in that state, that really it's one awareness. There's no real distinction between your source and you and your brothers or companions. They're really all in the same line. We're actually the same awareness. But you learn that as you do this process of connecting and then extending and connecting and extending. And then, at some point you go, well, to give is to receive. It's actually what I'm giving, I'm receiving. And it was always there, actually. I'm now understood that it was always there. I just had blocked it. And so the idea of connecting and extending reconnects you with what you denied. So it's a useful concept for the process of at-one-ment while we seem to still be in time.
Just having dwelt on it that for those couple of minutes, I've got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Everyone happy with that? Number 2.
Just scroll up a bit, John. Up.
All right.
In the creation, God extended himself to his creations and imbued them with the same loving will to create. So in the creation, we've still got creation here.
I'll change that in the so in this instance, extended himself to his creations and imbued them with the same loving will to extend. So we could translate that as in beingness.
Okay, yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Forms the awareness of perfect love. And we'll make it extends because it's actually happening right now.
Yeah.
Eternal, yeah? So extends itself to its creations would be. Do you remember?
Beingness.
No, that's
Oh no.
right.
Sorry.
It's extension.
I got
It's
a bit.
extension.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sometimes
Oh.
the beingness, sometimes creation, what he refers to as creation, is actually referring to the state of being.
Right.
So you just have to see the context of what he's talking about. And sometimes it's about the extension, but it's always the extension of the beingness. So we are the extensions of being.
That makes a lot of sense.
We have this, capitalized being quality, which gives us our existence. That's our life. That's who we really are. And so we are the extensions of being, and the extensions are exactly like the being. We seem to be separate, but actually we have exactly the same quality as as this beingness, which gives us our life. Someone said to me that, oh well, I'll never be like you. I'm one with God, but not with you. I mean, that's just a ridiculous position, isn't it? You can't justify that, because if God is all it is, it's the beingness that is, then how can anything be outside of that if it's the source of everything, right? It extended everything in its fundamental nature. So all she was seeing was a separation on the level of mind, which isn't true. That's the illusion, and creating a false belief system as a result of that, and seeing the separation rather than, well, yeah, that's kind of obvious. We must have the same source. Whatever I believe, whatever I think, whatever is happening on the level of form, there's a transcendent source that's there, that gives everything and everyone its existence. Otherwise, there would be no existence at all. There'd be no mind, no awareness at all.
Do you want to put imbues them in there instead of imbues them, do you know?
What infused? Do you think is better?
No, it imbues. You got it in the past tense.
Yeah, infused. Yeah, imbues them with the same loving will to extend. Okay, the same. So we call loving will awareness. So our loving awareness, if I am loving awareness, then my awareness wants to extend to others. And that would translate as, loving, kind thoughts, words, and actions.
Why not use the word will though?
Yeah, will. I think will always implies to me that God has some kind of intention,
Okay.
which isn't really the case. Awareness doesn't have intention as such.
Yeah.
You know, intention, as in I want to do something, because intention implies it's not complete. You know, I'm not quite there. I've got an intention to do something, but this is a complete awareness.
Yeah.
So it's the same complete loving awareness that just naturally extends. It doesn't intend to do anything. It just is. It's
Yeah,
because it
makes
is
sense.
already everywhere.
Yeah.
It's extending. We say God wants to do something, or God wills.
Mm.
You know, we try to use language to describe what's beyond language. That's not really the case. There's no personal self, some kind of separated entity saying, right, I will this. It's more a loving awareness that's, you know, the all being of everything that's just coming through in your mind and being extended through you into all of the situations and experiences and encounters that you have in your life. And that loving awareness extends through your presence in that situation.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah. So it's language. I mean, trying to describe what's beyond language, but you know, we do the best we can with the words. And you know,
No, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, it's extending that awareness to everyone and everything as it was extended to us, as it is extended to us.
Yeah.
So that awareness is given us, extends itself or gives itself to its extension. So beingness gives itself to us, seemingly separated. We're not really. And that gives us life. That gives us our fundamental awareness.
Mm.
And then it's asking us to extend that in as well.
Yeah.
So we become like mini versions of the source.
Mm.
And if you look at the great masters and avatars like Yeshua and Buddha, you know, they really did shine the light. They shone the source out, and it came through them very strongly into the world, and people could connect to it through them. So you know, you can be the instrument of the extension, which is really our only function here.
Okay.
Okay, next one.
You have not only been fully created, but have also been created perfect.
Yeah.
You have not only been fully extended, but have also been extended perfect.
So he's using past tense there. But... So how about you are not, instead of you have not, instead of you are not.
Yeah.
You are not only fully extended, but are also extended perfect.
Perfectly extended.
Yeah, are also extended perfectly.
Yeah.
Right now. So it brings it into the present, doesn't it? Okay, you know, it's not past, because there's no past in eternal being. It's right now. And also extended perfectly, as you are now.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. There is no emptiness in you. That's probably going to be the same.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the same. No emptiness in you.
It's an interesting idea, though, isn't it? There is no emptiness in you. What's the...
It is, because a lot of the time, you know, we have to empty ourselves. You're letting go and you're emptying yourself to become fulfilled. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Filled with what? You know, filled with the spirit that is formless. It doesn't have any form. It doesn't have any tangible quality. So you're empty in one sense. From the ego's point of view, you're completely empty. And from the spirit's point of view, you're filled with, you know, what's true awareness. So there's no emptiness in you.
Yeah.
He's referring to the, you know, the ego's interpretation of the emptiness of disconnecting. Emptiness comes from disconnecting from your source. and you feel a bit empty and hollow and like
Empty-hearted.
yeah, not filled up from within. And that's because we've disconnected from your true awareness and covered it over with something else.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter how much the ego tries to fill that emptiness, it's never
Yeah.
going to work.
Well, when you
You
feel
can only
like you
fulfill
have
it
a
from the
broken
spirit.
heart, you feel empty as well. Something. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. But it's always a sign that you were attached to the form. You were looking
Yeah.
to form
Yeah.
to fill the emptiness.
Yeah, that's where the lack comes from.
Yeah. And he's
Mm.
saying no form can fill that emptiness. Only God can.
Mm.
Only your own true awareness, becoming fully aware of that awareness, can fill the emptiness. And then you become as you are. You know, there isn't really any emptiness in you. It's actually you're already, you know, whole and complete as you are.
That's good. Because of your because of your likeness to your creator, you are creative. Because of your likeness to your source, you are
creative. Maybe we want to change that to
Extended.
Extensive. It's quite nice. When you say you're an extensive, you're expanding, expansive or
Or
extensive.
expensive.
Expansive, extensive.
or how about perfect?
Yeah, that's
Ah.
also that also works.
Yeah, there's no emptiness in because of your likeness to your source, you are creative. So again, creative there, he's not talking about creativity in the normal sense of the word, in worldly terms. Oh, I'm going to create this, I'm going to create that. He's talking about you are connected to your source. You are wholly aware of that. You are extensive, you are expansive. I quite like you're perfect, actually. I think that's nice. You are creative. I mean, is that really what he means? Being created perfect. You are. How about you can extend perfectly? How about that? Does that work?
I prefer just perfect.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you are perfect. It's clear. Mm.
Yeah, the question is, have we changed the meaning? That's what he means is creative. I think he's meaning you're creative.
Or you are extended, as it said before.
You're extensive. Yeah. So I think what he's trying to get the sense of is that you can extend as your creator is extended to you. You are creative in that, this source can extend through you. I think that's the kind of sense he's trying to convey, isn't it? So you are perfectly
Whole.
extensive. So you can extend as you were extended.
Or you could say, because of your likeness to your source, you are extending.
You are able to perfectly extend. You're perfectly extending.
That works as well. Yeah.
You
are extending. It's good.
Yeah, you don't need perfectly because
no, you don't. It's either are perfect or extending because it's just one word, creation.
Yeah. Likeness to a source, you are extending. Yeah. Okay. So that's nice. So you're extending right now. And that's your natural nature. You're extending, and then the ego distorts that. If you're not extending, you're going to be, what's the opposite of extending? Anyone?
dead.
Dead.
You're not sure.
In
No,
your
dead.
illusory state. You're in your illusory state.
Well, you're
just said,
projecting, aren't you? Projection is the opposite of extension.
Yeah.
The projection is coming from the ego always.
Yeah.
So you know what he's saying. You're gonna be putting stuff out there, irrespective. That's the nature of the mind.
Yeah, but projecting can be positive projections. Doesn't have to be negative projection.
No, that's not the way he uses it in the course. Okay,
Mm.
be clear with the language. When he says projection, he means it's the ego.
Yeah.
He uses
Okay.
extension for the extension of loving awareness that's coming from the Holy Spirit.
Mm.
So that we're clear. Otherwise, like, oh, now we're in positive projection, negative projection. You know, just use a different word.
Mm.
Projection versus extension. So that's what he does. So, you know, okay, projection of the ego. That means the separate self, idea of separation, is now projecting itself out into the dream world and making all of that real and then perceiving that to be real. That's what projection does. So it's always going out of the mind. Projection is the mechanism through which we went out of our minds and into a body and into a false universe. Yeah, that's the mechanism that so-called created this world, this universe, projection. And then perception keeps it in place. Projection, perception keeps the whole illusion going. So saying, well, you know, you can work on the perception. The projection's harder because it's happening unconsciously. You know, try stop projecting the universe. Well, it still carries on, doesn't it? Wake up, the sun's still there, the earth's still there, you know, it all still seems to real. Not that easy. But you can change your perception of it systematically and progressively, and that's what he's training us to do through the course. Okay. So
good.
happy to move on to number 6.
Yeah. No child of God can lose this ability because it is inherent in what he is, but he can use it inappropriately by projecting.
Okay, so there you go. He tells us exactly what we were just discussing, which is often what happens. Okay, so
No child of pure.
Should we
no
call that
child-
extension?
Okay.
Extension of
Oh yeah.
no extension.
Of pure formless awareness of perfect love can lose its ability. No extension of perfect love can lose its ability because it is inherent in what it is. But
I'll lose this ability, so I think we'll keep it as this. Otherwise, there's too many it's going on. So
Okay.
it is inherent in what he is. Okay, so no, and that's because we're talking about now the Son of God, you know, so capitalized extension and what it is. We're talking about the mind. He uses he to denote sort of a, you know, personal self, but actually what we're referring to is the Christ, the one self, inherent in what it is. So what we really are is capitalized. We are the extension of perfect love.
Yeah, because it can use it inappropriately, small it.
Well, extension, you know, we still this, but when we use it inappropriately by projecting, then we would downgrade ourselves into a small it, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Small self.
So why are you keeping the capital?
So that we're recognizing that it's this. No extension.
Refer to the extension.
The extension which is capitalized. So
No,
otherwise it gets confusing. We capitalize it earlier in the sentence. So we still are that. What we're saying, even if you use it inappropriately by projecting, you've made a false choice.
Oh, okay.
You haven't really touched your true reality. You're still the extension of perfect love. It remains as your true identity. You've just chosen badly, and you've chosen inappropriately by projecting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good.
Okay. And then I don't think this one's going to need any change, so just read it. 7.
The inappropriate use of extension or projection occurs when you believe that some emptiness or lack exists in you, and that you can fill it with your own ideas instead of truth.
Okay.
Yep, that speaks for
And what
itself.
he's saying there. Inappropriate use of, so he's qualifying. He's telling us there, this is what projection means.
Yeah.
Inappropriate use of extension or projection occurs when you believe that some emptiness or lack is you, and you can fill it with your own ideas instead of truth. So you have some lack, some emptiness, and then that seems to be causing you, because of the lack, you then project out to try and meet that need, to try and fill the lack. You can fill it with your own ideas instead of truth.
Mm.
Okay, so the idea of separation, that whole thought system, you go, okay, well, I feel somewhat lacking, but I will try and meet that emptiness in my own way.
Mm.
And then we get caught in the treadmill of desire, craving, and aversion, and it's never going to work, because the only thing that's going to fill the lack is acknowledging our source.
Yep. It's nice and concise.
Well, okay.
This process involves the following steps. First, you believe that what pure forms awareness of perfect love extended can be changed by your own mind.
So that's the and what God created can be
God
changed by your own.
created can be changed by your own mind.
Well,
Second, you believe that what is perfect can be rendered imperfect or lacking.
that's not going to change. Okay. And the next one.
Third, you believe that you can distort the creations of God, including yourself. Third, you believe that you can distort the creations of pure forms, including.
Okay, so that would be extensions. It's not the extensions of perfect love, including yourself.
Yeah.
And fourth,
You believe that you can extend yourself and that the direction of your own creation is up to you.
okay, so that's, you can believe you can create yourself. That would be create yourself, your own extension is up to you. So these are the distortions. You want to go through them. This process involves the following steps.
So let's again. So this process involves the following steps. First, you believe that what pure forms awareness of perfect love extended can be changed by your own mind. Second, you believe that what is perfect can be rendered imperfect or lacking. Third, you believe that you can distort the extensions of perfect love, including yourself. Fourth, you believe that you can extend yourself and that the direction of your own extension is up to you.
So, in summary, it's saying you believe you can fiddle. You can fiddle with reality. You can fiddle with who you are, and you can change that. You can make what was perfect, made perfect. You can make it imperfect or lacking. And that you can distort the extensions of perfect love, including yourself. And you believe you can extend yourself. The direction of your own extension is up to you. So that would be, oh yeah, I'll go and create in the world, and I'll do my own thing, and I'll create the life I want, and I'll go on my merry way. And this is all up to me. I have free will. I can choose what I want to do. I'm the big cheese, and we've denied our true awareness, true formless awareness of perfect love. So that's, apparently free will. The ego gives us apparent free will. Direction of your own extension is up to you, but actually, is that the case? is that will really free? Not really. We are actually in a delusion, and the ego is running the program. And it's not a freeing mind, it's an imprisoning mind. So freedom comes in surrender, in letting go, paradoxically, and letting go and listening only to God, complete obedience, we use that word, to the will of God, to the awareness, to the loving awareness, completely being guided by that is freedom. Because that awareness only brings us itself. It brings us more loving awareness in the various forms that we experience it in this world. And there's nothing else. So that's it's the only way out. Okay, so clear on those 4 steps, how the ego would work. It's projection, appropriate use of extension or projection. Do you want to summarize that paragraph, John? First?
Yeah.
Please.
It's saying that no matter, regardless of what we invent in our illusion, we remain connected with pure formless awareness or perfect love. Even though we try our best to invent our own world by thinking that we are the center of it.
And then we project out because we think we can fiddle with who we are. We then project that outwards. So we think we can change what pure formless awareness of perfect love extended, that it, what is perfect can be made imperfect. We believe we can distort that, and then that we can now take charge of this so-called creation process. You can create yourself. You can extend yourself. The direction of your own creation is up to you. It might actually be useful. Let's just see, to keep that as create. I think that might be very useful. I don't know. What do you think? You can create yourself, or you can extend yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't extend yourself. It's kind of obvious. Only the source can extend you. So that does work. But really, in the beginning of Life Build, it was interesting. We had a slogan, and it was about you can recreate yourself. You can invent yourself. I think was the tagline, which I subsequently dropped once I came into the course and a bit more awareness. I was like, no, you can't invent yourself or create yourself. That's idea is false. So that I'll create myself. What do you think? Create or
Well, how about invent? Because create is used normally in the course in terms of God creates.
Yeah. So it would be a creation. It's a miscreation actually, but it's the ego's version of creation. Okay, well, you can create yourself, create your own identity, your own self-concept. In this world, you get people like image consultants and this kind of thing who will create an identity for you. They create a self. Like, okay, what do you want to be? All right, well, we'll create that and we'll package that and we'll market that to the world. And you think you can create yourself, but it's not true. So invent yourself. Yeah, let's put it out there. Who thinks what? Create yourself, extend yourself. Direction of your own.
Invent is good. Well, create is good actually. Create is good because it's also clear and it's like it's up to you or to choose.
Yeah. Direction of your own creation is up to you. So, this is, when you think of the sort of personal growth world, which some of you might be familiar with, it's really much about you're going to create a better life for yourself. Your thoughts create your reality. You can create a better life. You can be a better self. So whatever you want, you can be rich. You can have a designer body. You can have, the woman or man of your dreams, and you can create this amazing life. That's the sales pitch, isn't it? That's what they sell you on. So this is why you should come to my workshop or seminar or buy my program or my book or whatever, because I'll help you in this process of creating a better self and better outcomes. And if you haven't had this kind of mind training, well, it seems seductive. It's like, well, why wouldn't I want to be a better self? My current self, I'm not that happy with, but what they're holding out seems to be better. That could work. New self, better results. Great. What are we waiting for? But what you're saying is, by doing that,
I was just going to say, John, I think it's already said that the course does distinguish between create and make. Create is of God and make is of the ego.
It does.
This sort of self-help arena that you're talking about, they often use the word reinvent yourself, and I wonder if we can use that maybe.
Well, that's what I said. Actually in the beginning of Life Build, I was partners with the guy, and he had a whole thing on invent yourself. So we included that in the slogan. It was like, recreate or reinvent yourself. That was our slogan through this, which I dropped because it doesn't really work with this. So create yourself, invent yourself, extend yourself.
We like invent. We think avoid create, because create is what God does.
Okay.
Could it be reinvent?
Yeah.
Because it's usually like you don't like the version of yourself and you want to be a better version of yourself, so you reinvent it.
Yeah. Could do reinvent.
But you don't like it.
I think invent's more
Make,
powerful.
actually. I mean, the course uses the word make, doesn't it, for anything of the ego?
Yeah. Make yourself, invent yourself. And the direction of your own making is up to you. It all kind of works. It's just what's going to be the best, most powerful translation.
How about you can invent yourself and the direction of your own making is up to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. All right. We'll go.
Hooray, we did it.
Hey. And invent yourself by consensus. Direction of your own making is up to you. It's the script of the ego, isn't it? It's me. I'm self-created. I've got no source. There's no accountability to anything beyond me, which is in fact the essence of the narcissistic self, isn't it? I'm the big cheese. There's nothing higher than me. I can invent myself. I can create the reality I want. And what's wrong with that? But what's wrong with it is that it will inevitably be manipulative and controlling of others, because you're going to try and get everyone to serve your ends, and you lose touch with with love. You've denied love, and so it's empty. There's no love there. No real connection and fulfillment. So projection can never satisfy you. Only connecting with your being and extending from being. Right. So this is the difference between motivation and inspiration. Motivation would be, I'm motivated to invent a better self, to get the outcomes that I think I want, and this is all up to me. Right? I decide. I create my own reality. Basically. That's motivation. I'm motivated to do that, and that'll you can do stuff through that, but it's nowhere near as powerful as inspiration. Inspiration is I'm connected to my source. I'm already whole and perfect. I connect with the being of who I am. I feel whole, complete, perfect. And now I feel inspired to extend that beingness out through my thoughts, my words, and my actions. And that's got a different quality to it completely. So now you become an instrument of the extension of being, rather than a self-created narcissist who's seeking to satisfy his or her separate self interest, usually at the expense of others. Yeah. Everyone,
that's good.
everyone happy with that? Okay, so moving swiftly on then to number 2. Who would like to read number 2?
I'll do it. These related distortions represent a picture of what actually occurred in the separation or the detour into fear.
Yeah.
It's like the same. These related distortions represent a picture of what actually occurred in the separation or the detour into fear. That seems
So
fine.
tell me, who knows about punctuation? Should that actually, that always just doesn't seem right to me, that you put the
Yeah,
full
that's
stop.
wrong. It goes after the inverted comma.
It should do, but so why do they do that?
They don't.
Oh, is that
Sub-editor. That's
so
what
the
it's
entire
saying.
course is incorrect.
Is it how it's done? I don't know. I mean,
They do that, yeah. Maybe it's an American convention, I don't know. They put it inside, even if that's just a phrase in inverted commas, they put it inside rather than outside.
It should only be inside if it's a complete sentence inside.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. Because otherwise you kind of ending that, but then where's the ending of the rest of the sentence? So
Yeah, absolutely.
I've always put it there, but I just wanted to check with someone who knows a bit about punctuation. So I'm trusting you do.
At the time.
all right, what's he saying? He's related distortions.
These related distortions. Do we want to change that? I mean, it's
Related distortions. He's talking about the previous steps.
yeah.
I think that's okay. Is that clear? What he's talking about, the distortions?
Yeah. Distortions of thought, maybe.
He's related
Distortions of mind.
distorted beliefs, maybe.
Yeah.
He's related distorted beliefs. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sound.
Represent, yeah, a picture of what actually occurred in the separation or the detour into fear.
Just say which. Which is also known as, or just which is. Just which is. It's fine.
Well, one thing I would say, speaking as a sub-editor, is you don't add words. You try and take them away if that improves the clarity, because the fewer words, the better. So there's not a lot of point. I mean, to me, that's perfectly clear. It's or the detour interfere. It explains what the separation means. So.
Okay. All right. Comma there, separation, current separation, or the detour. There's sort of a pause there. Should we keep the comma?
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so he's saying this is what actually seemed to happen.
No.
What actually occurred. So that's always difficult, because he's saying it didn't really happen. What seemed to occur. Maybe we should change it to seem to occur.
Yeah.
Seemed to. The separation, because if it actually happened, then of course it's real. So need to be careful with the language.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 2.
none of this existed before the separation, nor does it actually exist now.
So you see, is that actually twice in the same?
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't actually, it actually occur, but then it doesn't actually exist.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is that confusing, maybe? So I think maybe strip out the first actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so none of this existed before the separation, nor does it actually exist now. Okay, so I don't think I need any clarification.
Yeah. We carry on. Everything God created is like him. Everything pure formless awareness of perfect love extended is like him. Sorry.
We'll make that present tense, shall we? Extends.
Yeah.
Extends is like
It.
itself.
Yeah.
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 Don't you have to remove is?
No. Everything pure formless one is perfect love extends is like itself.
That doesn't make sense to me. I don't
Doesn't
know,
it?
maybe I'm not understanding that sentence. And
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Everything it extends. Then you need a.
I would remove the
further.
is here.
No, it doesn't make sense.
I think the extends is that italicized or is my eyesight?
Yeah, it's italicized because that's we've changed it.
Okay.
Pure
Oh,
formless
okay.
one, perfect love extends is like itself. You have to have a what's that, a verb?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You have to have something there to link it. Others would just be
I
like
thought
itself.
extends was the verb, but yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
understand.
well,
now.
that relates to everything
Yeah.
that this extends, everything then is. This
Yeah,
is
like it's
the is related to the everything is,
yeah.
is like itself. All right. So that's why when people say, oh well, you're not of God, that's just ridiculous because the source is like its extension. There's no logical, you can't really justify the ego's logic that the source and its extension are not alike. That's insane logic, isn't it?
Mm.
Thank you.
So extension as undertaken by God.
Extension as undertaken by God is similar to the inner radiance that the children of the Father inherit from him. Extension as undertaken by pure formless awareness of perfect love is similar to the inner radiance that the children of the extensions inherit from it.
Well,
That its extensions inherit.
extension is undertaken by pure formless awareness of love. Is similar to the inner radiance that the children of the Father, so that's the extensions of the source. Extensions of the source. Okay, does that make sense? The inner radiance. It's the that inner experience that you have. You feel like you're connected to something far greater, and you inherit that from your source. The real source is internal.
Yes, yeah.
So it's not anything outside of you. It's not outside of your mind. It's in your mind. And this is as true of the sun. I'm going to read that 6.
This is as true of the Son as of the Father. This is as true of the extension as of the source. In that one above, do you think we should say in number 5, the real source is into, we've got it and then it's, and it seems confusing.
Its real source. So extension, I'm talking about pyramids of the inner range, that extensions of the source inherit from it, right? So he's talking about its real source, internal. So he's talking about extension there. The its is, it refers to extension. Extension. So maybe just say extension's real source is internal. How about that? And
Yeah.
clarifies that. All right, so that's true of.
Should that be, sorry to be fussy, are we talking about extensions plural?
Well, no, it was singular. Extension has undertaken. So it's the process of extension.
Oh,
So
okay.
extensions.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Extensions,
Okay.
real source is internal. It's the process of extension.
Okay. Okay, so number 7. In this sense, the creation includes both the creation of the Son by God and the Son's creations when his mind is healed. In this sense, the creation includes both the creation of the extension by pure formless awareness of perfect love and the extension's creations when
His mind is healed.
his
Okay.
mind is healed.
So we normally translate creation as extension. So it would be, in this sense, the extension, in the sense, true the extension of the source. The extension includes, oh, there's Susie. Extension includes both the creation of the extension by pure formless awareness. So that would be the extension. Extension includes both the extension of the extension.
Oh, you've got 3 extensions in that line. I don't think that's working.
It's both the extension of the extension. Yeah, but it's capitalized. So you see what I mean? The extension is the process, and the extension is the noun. This is what we are. By pure formless awareness of perfect love, and the extensions, who we are, that's just who we are, the extension of source. The extensions, because the extension extends. So it all extends in one line. The extensions when its mind is healed. So yeah, read that from the top. Let's just see how that sounds.
In this sense, the extension includes both the extension of pure formless awareness of perfect love and the extension's extension.
Wow.
This sounds like a Danny Kaye movie.
But its mind is healed. But it actually makes sense. So
Doesn't
in this sense, the extension, okay, so he's talking about this process of
like the one without
extension.
the party is the one without the poison.
Includes
Okay,
both
let's
the
do it again.
extension.
In this sense, the extension includes both the extension of the extension by pure formless awareness of perfect love and the extensions when its mind is healed.
Oh, it does actually make sense.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Does it?
It does.
Well, this process, so the small e extension is the process of this transmission, let's say, of being, extension of being.
Okay.
The capital extension is the Son. We are the extension, the Christ, the one self that's extended from pure formless awareness of perfect love. And then our extensions, so our minds now have a creative potential. the mind's our mind's extensions in our natural state are included in this extension, right? So God is then extending through us into the world when our mind is healed, and we become an instrument of the extension of love. Yeah, happy?
Don't ask me to summarize it, please.
Okay. Just listening in. Okay, see, no problem. Just listen in. So, number 8 then.
This requires God's endowment of the Son with free will, because all loving creation is freely given in one continuous line in which all aspects are of the same order. This requires pure formless awareness of perfect love's endowment of the extension with free will, because all loving creation, which one should be extension, should it?
Yeah, all
Is
loving
freely
extension.
given in one continuous line in which all aspects are of the same order. I don't understand that. What does that mean? There's no order of difficulty in miracles? I don't know.
It's freely given in one continuous line. So it's from the source extending to us, and then it extends through us into the world, to others. Freely given in one continuous line. So this idea of, that's why the extension extends. It's all extending. If you think of like a pipe or something, and the water's flowing down the pipe, it's like a natural extension. And then we get to an area and we go, oh well, that's us. That's us as an extension. But actually, there's no real separation. It's the flow of the source energy just coming through and streaming all the way through in one continuous line, all the way to its endpoint, which would be the source. Again, it's just like a continuous. It's more of a a cycle, a circle going around and around, flowing in one continuous line. Maybe there's a better way of saying that, but do you understand what he's trying to say there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yes.
All aspects, all aspects are of the same order, right? All aspects are of the same order of reality. That's what he really means. Or maybe we could put in same order of reality. Maybe.
Yes.
Does that help?
Yeah,
same
that's
order.
good.
The same, an order of reality is, he's now talking about the the transcendent dimension, the true reality beyond time and space. So all its aspects are actually the same. It's really, it's one awareness. Actually, it's one and the same awareness coming through, and it just looks in form, in time, it looks like there are extensions, and there's an extension that's doing something, and it's extending out to its to other extensions, its brothers and sisters, and but actually it's just pure formless awareness doing it all. It's extending to through us to others in the same order of reality. So we are one. Yeshua expressed as well. He said, "I am one with the Father, and I am one with you, and we are all one." It's all in the same line, and you can't deny the Son and also accept the Father. So someone said, as I said to me, "Oh well, I believe in God, but we don't have the same God." Okay, so you denied the extension of Source. You're actually denying Source. Then you're denying the all-encompassing nature of the Source. Then, and you're making that God into now some false, idolatrous God. That's not true, because you haven't seen it all-encompassing, running through all of creation or extension in one continuous line. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The bit I don't understand is a bit about free will.
Okay. Element of the extension with free will. So all loving extension is freely given in one continuous line, which all aspects of the same order of reality. Interesting. think we had this conversation last year. I can't recall, Diana. Free will. So what does free will really mean?
I've always understood that free will is the choice between, well, the thoughts of God or the thoughts of the ego, love or fear.
Yeah. So that's common interpretation. Oh, we have free will, so we can choose. But that actually, the will isn't free in that state, because you apparently have a choice, and you can get confused and you make the wrong choice. See that? So your true free will is just being in the will of God, is being one with pure formless awareness, perfect love. That's your true free will.
So it's to choose it or not to choose it. So whether you make a choice or you don't make a choice for God.
Well, it is in the illusion. We now seem to have a choice between that, choosing our true will, which is truly free, and choosing imprisoned will, which is the ego. From this perspective, we would call that free will. Oh, well, you can choose. You can choose to go one way or another. But your will is still, as long as you present it with a choice, your will is not completely free. Can you see that? You can't really be free.
Well, there's no choice if you haven't got a more than one option, is there?
No, there's no choice. But you see, you don't define free will in terms of choice. Free will is actually the will to be free as you are, free and happy, peaceful. There's free means no bondage. There's no limitation in your mind. That's what free will really means. You see, it's a different
free awareness. Yeah,
free awareness. I'm free in my awareness. There are no limitations. It means freedom is no limitation, no boundary, no limit, nothing to limit this this awareness or this will. So we could translate that as awareness, maybe, if you like. Free awareness. I'm sure that really makes. We'll see. Free awareness.
It's what you've just said in the glossary of terms that you did. You did a.
Yeah, I think so. Let's just see.
Because I think that's really important, because it's clearly mistaught the meaning of free will in course circles. I've heard it so many times as being the choice between love and fear.
Yeah, it's dualistic, isn't it? This is the whole version. Yeah, okay, we'll just do it in here. Let's get the glossary file. Glossary of terms. Okay.
There it is.
There we go. Oh. The will that is united. You want to read that?
The will that is united with the will of God, love, pure formless awareness, and has relinquished its desire to be separate and believe in the laws of limitation. True free will is the will that knows no limits, i.e. pure formless awareness. So maybe we could put after the will, put in brackets awareness.
Yeah, what here in the definition?
In the first line, where it says the will that is united with the will of God. So the will brackets awareness.
Well, I've said / will of God is love, is pure formless awareness. That's the same.
I mean, these words are, in the sort of colloquial usage. Will, as we said before, implies intention. Free will implies, as I've always understood it, the will to choose between however many options.
Yeah. So it's a different interpretation. So will of God is pure formless awareness of perfect love. You could say, instead of a dash, say or if you want. Will of God or pure formless awareness of perfect love. That's the will of God. It's just that awareness. So that awareness doesn't really want to do things. It just is that awareness. It is what it is. And it has this pulling power. It wants to pull you in. It doesn't really want to. I mean, again, we're trying to use language to explain. But it will pull you into itself, because that's what it is. It's the ground of being. It's the foundation of your mind. So it has this kind of gravitational pull to pull you into it, because it's fundamental. It's what you really are. And you can deny it as much as you like, but you're actually denying what cannot really be resisted. So surrender is, you asked the other day about surrender. Sally, I think it was Sally's question. Surrender is just saying, okay, I accept that. I'm not going to resist this anymore. I'm going to just go with it. Okay, take me into this awareness. Because resistance is futile. Resistance causes me endless amounts of distress and pain and suffering. The more I resist this, so okay, I surrender. Which means you got to surrender your separate self and your supposed free will. See, the ego has invented an idea of free will that's not really free. Is the ability to choose and potentially choose wrongly, is that really free will? Or is that a predicament? It's a dilemma. Is that free? Oh, I could do that, but I don't know. I'm confused now. I don't know which way. So it creates uncertainty. So the world is not really free and unlimited. We seem to be bound then still by choices and time. And so it's a different interpretation of free will. We can go here if you want. Have a little look at this. Healing is the recognition of truth, because I think it's discussed here as well. Where would it be? 746, paragraph 6. Okay. Paragraph 6. Where healing is the recognition of truth. Oh. I think you can oppose the will of God as a real delusion. Do you want to read that?
To think you can oppose the will of God is a real delusion. The ego believes that it can, and that it can offer you its own will as a gift. You do not want it. It is not a gift. It is nothing at all. God has given you a gift that you both have and are. That you both have and are. When you do not use it, you forget that you have it. By not remembering it, you do not know what you are. Healing, then, is a way of approaching knowledge by thinking in accordance with the laws of God and recognizing their universality. Without this recognition, you have made the laws meaningless to you. Yet the laws are not meaningless, since all meaning is contained by them and in them.
Okay.
Do you want me to carry on?
Does that clarify a bit?
Sorry?
Does that clarify?
Yeah.
Sure, but
Yeah, there's no choice.
So true free will is when you are totally rooted in your true awareness, pure formless awareness, the perfect love, and there's no other will, there's no choice. Because the so-called free will that the ego offers you is not a gift at all. It's a burden. Now you've got to choose between two alternatives and run the risk of getting it wrong, which is not free at all. It's a dilemma of no. It's like, well, am I making the right choice here? Is this the right way? Because there's two ways. Let's say you're lost on a path, two ways appear, no signposts. How are you going to know which way to go? It's a dilemma. Splits your mind.
I think the way I understand it is that when we go with the ego, we're not really choosing. It's a reaction. We just go because it's a knee-jerk reaction based on our internal programming. And the choice, there's only one choice, is the choice for God. And the Course says, choose again. If you're not at peace, choose again. So
Mm.
it's the choice for peace. And
Mm.
we have the freedom to choose those thoughts with God. Because what, you know,
Mm.
but it's a decision
Ego
to
seems to be a choice, you know, so we can in the illusion of free will, we can still choose the ego, and we often do, because
it's like we're being hijacked. Our true self is being hijacked.
yeah, so it's a false self. It's now, you know, telling us, no, I'm in charge, and you know, this is actually what's going to be good for you. And so it's usurped our true self, and creates all kinds of confusion, because now we don't know, well, which voice am I listening to? Which voice is which? And that's a dilemma of note. You know, that's the human dilemma. It's the human condition. Well, which is which? What's good? What's evil? What's my true self? What's not? Which way should I go? And the apparent choice is a real limitation, seemingly causing us a lot of difficulty in this world. So true freedom is going beyond the idea of choice. No choice. You know, in God, there's no choice. It just is. No choice in what you are. You are what you are. So as you were created, so you remain. That's, you know, the essential teaching. No choice, and in that state of no choice, then you're truly free, because there's no limitation. There's nothing else to create any kind of limitation, any boundary, anything else in your mind that's not perfect love.
It's a decision, isn't it? Rather than a choice. It's a decision to accept perfect
Yeah,
love.
so I mean, decision, choice, whatever, you know, in the illusion, you must choose perfect love because you've chosen otherwise. So you now are in the illusion of choice. You must choose to get out of it. But if you choose repeatedly this way, you choose love repeatedly by letting go of the other way, because that's all we're doing. Let go of the one option, and what's left is what remains. It's just what it is, you know, the truth. So you're cutting away. Decision is a good word because it's a cutting away. Decadere in Latin means to cut away the other choice. So you cut away the ego choice. Now, if you cut that away so continuously, eventually it's gone. There's no more choice, because you're actually in the process. You're saying, I don't really want to have to choose anymore. I'm surrendering to pure formless awareness, in which there's no choice. I'm completely guided. The idea that he's trying to lead you into a state of mind where you're completely guided by the spirit, and it's not really a choice anymore. You just get the guidance. It's like, okay, we'll do that, go there, you know, follow the guidance. It's not really you choosing, so you don't have any dilemmas anymore. It just comes through, and you're so clear, such an open channel to your source, that you get the guidance in every situation, and there's no choice in your mind. There's only one way, and you know the spirit will direct you clearly. So it's a very clear, decisive, and effective state. You know, no confusion. Choice creates a whole lot of confusion in our minds, and there's no clarity then. Okay, well, I could go this way. I'm at a crossroads. Let's take that analogy again. I could go this way, and then there's an opposite way. I could go that way, and I can't choose both. I have to go one way or another, but I'm uncertain. So I go one way a bit, and then that looks a bit dark and dodgy. So let me turn around, go the other way. Oh, this is getting a bit tough. Turn around, and we're going nowhere. No clarity. You know, whereas the spirit, if we totally tapped in, it'll say, okay, go that way. Just trust me. No decision needed. You just go on your intuition. Something tells you go that way. You follow the guidance, and it flows. It flows smoothly from there. And then the next point of decision, you get guidance again. And he's saying you can be so tapped in that you can actually get that kind of guidance. And literally, David Hoffmeister talks about his travels. He was, went on the road, just guided by Yeshua and the Holy Spirit for 5 years. And he was just like, well, where am I going today? I have no idea. So show me. And he'd be like, okay, you're going to get in the car and you're going to go there. Oh, there's a turn left, turn right, go there. It's just, he was getting specific guidance and instructions day by day as to where he should go, who he should call. It was days before cell phones, but it was like just totally guided, and it was always, the plan was made. He always had a place to sleep, and he was welcomed, and he always had enough fuel in his tank, and he had enough money for food, and he had no idea how any of that was going to work when he started, but he said, I just got specific instructions, which was his mind training. It's like, okay, you got to just really trust, that guidance is there. You don't have to decide. It's going to be decided for you and given to you. And you might say, well, that's, he was a slave, but actually he wasn't. He was free because he was free of the dilemma of having to choose and all the anxiety that goes with that. Oh, imagine if you'd been freaking out every day, like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? I don't know. He couldn't have handled it. He had to let go and say, it's not up to me. I'm just following guidance. You just tell me and I'll do what you tell me.
Mm.
And if it's the right guidance, if it's a beneficent guide that really, like, this guide can see the whole picture, knows exactly where you are, knows like who you need to connect with, where your next meal's coming from, well, why wouldn't you follow that? I mean, it's trying to help you. It's a beneficent presence trying to guide you. Free will is not then choosing opposite than that. That would be insane will, and not free will. So it's a reinterpretation of the idea of free will, isn't it? Which is useful.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, my true free will is the will of God. It's when I'm one with that will, I'm one in pure formless awareness, perfect love. I'm in that awareness and only that awareness. Then I'm truly free. Otherwise, I'm still freeing myself. If I make the correct choice to let go, then I'm making the choice for the right-minded choice, for the Holy Spirit, for Christ. And that's systematically and progressively going to undo the other choice. It cuts away the other choice. Eventually there's no more choice, and you realize there's no choice. Actually, there's just one will.
Yeah.
So you're collapsing the idea of choice, which collapses duality, which gets you out of the dilemma of duality and back into oneness, where there's complete clarity and you know exactly who you are and what to do. And you can live that way even while you're in the human domain. You can live in a choiceless situation. I don't believe in the end of his life, Yeshua wasn't making choices. He even said, not my will, but thy will be done. Okay, I'm surrendering all choice. Maybe his final test in that was the crucifixion. Okay, it's not up to me. If this is the will, then I go with it. No, there's no personal will anymore trying to interfere with this guidance. Even if that means, my God, like my body's going to be crucified. Okay, but so be it. If it's the will, if this is for the highest good, then I follow obediently. The kind of ultimate surrender. That was a great example of it. So then, was he really? I mean, I thought of it like he was so courageous, but I think it went beyond courage. He'd gone way beyond that. It was like the final act of, okay, whatever. I'm not in charge anymore. I'm one with the will of God, and this is the will, and I'm just going with it. And whatever the human experience is, whatever those sense perceptions are through that experience, I think he would have been very rooted in his true awareness. It would have been like, okay, but that none of this is really true. None of it's really happening. So, okay, the body's going to do its thing, and you're going to, be flogged and take your cross and, be nailed to the cross. Okay, but was this deeper connection always, seeing him through it. And that's what could sustain him. That's why he could say, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. So even in that moment, when he's been crucified and, this thought system of hatred and attack seems to be dominant, he reaches into his source and he extends exactly what we're talking about from the source. And he says those words as a blessing to help people realize the truth. Even in the extreme, situation he was in, he was still teaching. I mean, that's, and those lines have come down to us now. Fantastic example of what forgiveness really is. Okay, so back we come to free will.
So he was saying, forgive them, Father, that they know not what they do, but he was making them real.
Well, he was. Remember, he spoke it, so he wanted. It was a teaching for people to hear. Otherwise, he wouldn't have needed to speak it. So he's saying, "Forgive them, Father, them, the seeming people who crucified him, the Romans, because they know not what they do." So that he's relating it to the level of form, so that the people who took that down would be like, "Okay, we know what he's talking about." Otherwise, it'd be like, well, actually, there's no need to forgive because they don't even exist. Which, if he'd said that, I'm not sure anyone would have understood it. Well, forgiveness isn't necessary because none of this exists. They might have edited that one out, I think. I don't know.
That would have been a
They
great
might have
loss.
Yeah, it would have been, but they might have edited that out. So he gave the teachings at the level that they could be understood. You know, he tried to use the language that could be understandable. Otherwise, he realized no one would have a clue
Yeah.
what he was saying.
Level
Which
of
was his
audience.
genius. He was a great teacher for that reason, you know, because he taught in parables. He could teach in a way that people could understand at their level.
Yeah.
And as a result, his teachings have stood for 2,000 years and still there, inspiring people. But most people have no idea what he really taught. You know, the metaphysics that underlay it didn't make it into the Bible, and they didn't make it into traditional Christianity, sadly. So they don't understand that, which means you don't really understand what forgiveness is. You don't really understand very much. It's kind of it's a surface level understanding, but you go deeper into it, and they don't really understand radical forgiveness at all.
No, not at all.
But maybe they will in time. In time, I mean, the prediction in the disappearance of the universe that this would become recognized in 500 years, this course, as kind of the truth. It would be much more widely accepted. It would become like the new Bible, something like that.
But I think
was the
it
prediction.
also said that the existing religions would still be there, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, these belief systems don't go away, quickly. I think more people might evolve out of it and say, look, that's not really serving me. There's something in here that serves me more. I can, maybe that's why I use the Christian terminology. So, okay, well, there's a reference point, you can kind of access it. It is the world's biggest religion. So you can kind of access the terminology, and now, you get a deeper understanding of it through this course.
It's nice to I think for people who want to move out of Christianity, it's nice to have that language as a bridge. But I wonder whether, if Jesus were giving it today, whether he would give it in the same language. And perhaps that's why there are things like, I don't know, is the Way of Mastery, does that have religious language? I can't remember.
Well, that's precisely why we're translating it. That's why we're doing what we're doing, because it's necessary. It seems to be helpful, and this is all done with the guidance of the Holy Spirit and Yeshua. He's not, this wouldn't be unfolding and happening as it is if it was against the will of God. Like, okay, this is needed now because it's all about understanding. The language is not sacrosanct, it's not sacred. It's just, can you help people to understand this course more deeply? And if you can, by doing a translation, then that's helpful. That's then the will of God. It's part of the plan of one-ment. And so I think that's what's happening. And I think it is maybe necessary to give it in the original, in this language, because he needed a reference point. He was like connecting it to an existing system. People understood God, Christ, Holy Spirit, because Christianity has been around for 2,000 years. So okay, we kind of can relate to the terminology, even though he's actually using it differently. It's not the same interpretation.
Yeah, and of course it came through in New York as well, didn't it? I remember when the Twin Towers came down, news report talking about this deeply religious country, and America is still, actually, and certainly was at that time, when the course came through, very religious, and perhaps appropriate for that audience where it arrived.
It is still there's that whole Bible Belt, and there's people who they live their lives by this, the God, the Holy Spirit. So I think he gave it appropriately for the time, but that doesn't mean that it can't benefit from some translation.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. And then keep the original, and that's in the process of translating the original. You read the original, there's a miracle there itself. There's more insight comes. There's a little shift in perception that happens when you do that, because more understanding comes in that translative process. Remember, the Holy Spirit is a translator one reality into another. That's what its function is. So it's
Mm.
kind of the Holy Spirit in the translations going, okay, well, we'll just help you see that differently, translate that term so that you understand it more, which is what it's all about, you know, the understanding the language. When people say, oh, well, the language is sacrosanct, that's making form important. It's not. The symbol's twice removed from reality. So the language is a pointer, but in the end, he's saying, well, you're going to go beyond words. You know, you don't take words with you into heaven. They're not necessary then. They're tools in your awakening journey. And that's, you know, so we're using the tools, hopefully with the interpretation, with the translations and reinterpretation. We're using them skillfully, using them in a way that's helpful to facilitate your learning, rather than, you know, being very rigid and stuck and saying, no, well, the course was given this way, so this is the only way. Well, I mean, we know that how that goes with religion. They've been stuck in their old paradigms for centuries. No, we can't change it because this is the way it is. But actually, someone changed it originally. It wasn't. This wasn't the original form that Yeshua gave. It's been distorted along the way. Now it's become
Absolutely.
a tradition, and you go, oh well, we just have to do this because we've done it for 500 years. No, actually, maybe you should change it now because maybe it's kind of getting a bit stuck and stale, and it needs a bit of fresh, you know. So I think this is the freshness. This course is the freshness, the re-injection of, you know, the spirit into Christianity, and it needed that. It's like, okay, so another way here. And at about the same time or earlier, when did Mary Baker Eddy live? She lived, I think, earlier in the century. But the Christian Science movement arose as well. That was also like a reinterpretation, quite a radical reinterpretation of Christianity. So there's an alternative. There'll still be people who, you know, believe the traditional, you know, Christ, you know, God is something out there. God's a judgmental God. Da 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 da. You know, that's probably going to carry on for, you know, for a long, long time, because the ego wants that. So there'll always be people who gravitate towards that. But for those who want an alternative, the alternative's there, and they can find it quite easily.
Yeah.
Which is excellent. And that's, you know, we're the alternative. If anyone's kind of, you know, not getting, they might have been Christian, but they got disillusioned. Well, you know, say, okay, there's a whole, gonna show you what all of that really means, and use your existing understanding, but transform it into true perception. That's going to be really helpful in your awakening. Okay, so where are we? Number 2. You didn't want to summarize that, did you?
Not really. You did it so well already. I think we can move on.
Right. Anyone else want to have a crack at that? Paragraph 2. What's he saying there?
Oh, go on, Jackie, you do it.
Volunteers. Oh God, am I gonna have to do it?
Well,
right. Gosh, sorry.
Ideally, you know, if you read it, then you summarize it as well.
So the false beliefs that we talked about in the previous paragraph represent what happened when we left pure formless awareness of perfect love and moved into fear and separation. Although none of it is in fact real, the only thing that's real is what is extended by pure formless awareness of perfect love. And that's what we all are. We're all extensions of it, and we have the same characteristics. Our real source is internal. This is okay, here's that sentence I don't want to do. So the extension of love includes both the extension of the extensions, i.e. the people, the beings, by pure formless awareness of perfect love, and the love that the extension, capital E, is able to give once its mind is healed of all the
Mm.
ego thoughts and distortions and I'll do it my way approach.
Mm.
This requires, okay, so in order for this to happen, we are endowed with free access to the awareness, which is always there. And it comes from God, from oneness through us to others. It extends through us and out of us in one continuous line. And this is all the same. It's all
Same order of reality.
order of reality.
So we are one. Yeah? As
We're
source.
one.
And Yeshua said this, I am one with the Father, and the Father is one with me, and I am one with you, and you are one with me. He said all this. It's recorded in scripture.
Mm.
And yet it didn't seem to really make it into most Christian theology, did it? It just didn't. So he was really saying it's one free line of extension, you know, it's from the source to me and to me to you, and it's actually, you know, we're all one.
Yeah. But I think the bit that got left out of Christianity was that it's not just Jesus. It doesn't just apply to Jesus. That's where the Bible.
No, well, but even worse, they say, you know, some people are not of God. A woman saying to me, like, well, you're not created by God. I'm like, what? So then who am I created by? Where did I come from then? It's a bizarre idea, you know, that, okay, she's of God and I'm not. Okay, well, how does that work? That's not logical, is it? If there's one source, one creator. Okay, so I just kind of, I came from the devil then? I'm not of this.
But if you
Where did I
decide,
come from?
yeah.
Huh?
But if you decide that Jesus is your Lord and Savior, suddenly you would be created by God.
Yeah, so just a simple change of belief, and then now suddenly, hang on, does that really make any sense?
No.
It doesn't make any sense, does it? It's just like, hang on, that's just, you're talking about conceptual beliefs here. That's all.
Yeah.
The belief system. You're not talking about your fundamental life essence. What gives you awareness? Why do you even exist? How is it that you have any kind of awareness or life? Well, that's what we're talking about. And that's freely given by God, source, to every living thing. Otherwise, it would have no life. So it's much more fundamental than just conceptual belief, but you have to get beyond the conceptual belief in order to see that. And if you just in a very narrow dogmatic system, then there's no awareness of that because it's not experiential. It's all conceptual belief. That's what they've been taught. You transcend that when you have your own awareness and you experience it.
Well, there's nobody offering any chinks in the belief system. Or anybody who is offering any to open up the traditional belief system cannot be accepted because the whole thing would collapse. Just a house of cards, it would collapse.
So it's a thin edge of the wedge, you know. So someone like me becomes very threatening because it's like, okay, well, if what you're saying is true, my entire belief system is false and it's going to crack open and house of cards collapse. And then where would I be? You know, who would I be if I'm not, you know, Miss Christian, you know, in the church, that identity, where would I be? And that's very fearful for the ego. So now you're seen as the enemy because you threaten my fundamental identity, like my self-concept. And there's the clear separation in the mind. When actually this awareness would free this person completely, you know, would actually free her of all of her pain and suffering, and which I can see, but not if you're not willing to you know, so the free will comes in, you must choose to go in that direction. You know, no one can force you, the spirit can't force you. You must choose. If you have a rigid belief that it's, you know, the what is false is true, then there's no opening for that. And the opening will eventually come through pain. It'll be enough pain might crack that open and you go, I can't do it anymore. It's just, it's not working. It's too painful. And maybe, you know, I need to then experience a total kind of breakdown of that thought system being shown to not work, and then I ask for help, and I say, okay, well, if there really is a God there, other than maybe what I've believed in, then show me, and then there could be some kind of authentic awakening. But usually it's with that amount of rigidity and stubbornness, there's got to be pain, because it's the only thing that's going to open it up. Sadly, but that's the way of the cross. You don't want to learn, so keep hitting your head against the brick wall, suffering, and then maybe eventually you will listen, or maybe not. In this life, people go and they don't listen. They stay pretty much where they were when they came in, and then you skip pure formless awareness, you come back, you cycle back, and you have another go in the dream world. Timeline of consciousness, it shows it quite well. You cycle, just close that down. If you're not rooted in this, if you haven't done this consistently in your life, you have no awareness of it. So you skip over it, and you just you cycle back around, and you come back into a body, because the accumulated egoic thoughts or karma is what pulls you back, and that hasn't been resolved. So you just, even though you're incorporeal, you're still not aware of your true awareness. So the ego will pull you back then, because this is where you come if you believe that you're a separate self, and then you have to come here to play it out in another life. Okay, so well done. That was good. So the summary just helps you kind of, okay, I actually got that. Do you understand it now?
Yeah.
Oh. And then if you can speak it, you can explain it to someone else, which is, helpful.
Yeah.
You could teach it. Okay, so number 3, the Garden of Eden, or the pre-separation condition. Who is still here? John's dropped off, so let's try Aurelie or Susie.
Okay,
One of
so
you.
the Garden of Eden, or the pre-separation condition, was a state of mind in which nothing was needed. The Garden of Eden, or the pre-separation condition, was a state of mind in which nothing was needed.
Okay, no, it's fine. So he's using the referencing, we all know the story of the Garden of Eden in the Bible. So it's symbolic of that pre-separation condition. That's what he's saying. Garden of Eden refers to the pre-separation condition. It's all symbolic in the Bible, these stories. State of mind which nothing was needed. Okay, so no needs, no wants, no desires, everything's provided by source. Okay, number 2.
When Adam listened to the lies of the serpent, all he heard was untruth. When Adam listened to the lies of the serpent, all he heard was untruth.
All he heard was untruth or falsity?
Untrue.
All he heard was untrue or untruth, falsity?
Or was false?
No, untruth is falsity. All he heard was false.
Yeah, was false. It's good.
That's quite simple.
Yeah.
Is that better than untruth?
Yeah.
Okay. So he went into a false state of mind. He was listening to what was false.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do not have to continue to believe what is not true unless you choose to do so.
We changed what is not true to false.
Yeah. You do not have to continue to believe that what is false unless you choose to do so. Yeah.
Okay. So there's the idea of choice, right? Now that you've done this, you made a bad choice, which puts you in the position where you have to now choose again. And you have to choose against what you chose, choose against the falsity that you chose. And we always have that choice to reverse our decision, go the other way.
Yeah.
Okay.
All that can literally disappear in the twinkling of an eye because it is merely a misperception. Yeah, all that can literally disappear in the twinkling of an eye because it is merely a misperception. Yeah, that's good as it is.
Yeah. Twinkling of an eye, right? So that's might want to say in a moment.
Yeah.
In a moment.
Yeah. Or in an instant.
Perception.
In an instant,
Yeah.
or in a moment.
In an instant, he calls it the holy instant, or I translate it normally as a moment because that's normal language. Oh, in a moment. So actually, in a moment, you can. There are people who've come in to their enlightenment in a moment. It's like one Eckhart Tolle had a sudden enlightenment, and it disappeared in a moment. It was merely a misperception. Ramana Maharshi, in a moment, his entire ego was gone, and he was enlightened. It can happen. Unusual, but he's saying it can literally disappear in a moment because it is merely a misperception.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what is seen in dreams seems to be very real.
Yeah. Should we change that to seen or perceived? What is perceived in dreams?
Yeah.
I just think perceived is a bit broader.
Yeah.
What is perceived in dreams seems to be very real.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yet the Bible says that a deep sleep fell upon Adam, and nowhere is there reference to his waking up.
That's a great line. Like, okay. So actually, the entire Bible after that is illusion.
Yeah.
He never woke up. So he's just been in a dream world the whole time. And everything that came from Adam and all the whole story is actually within the dream. She's just pointing out here. Nowhere is there reference to his waking up.
Yeah.
Which is true. Yeah, you won't find it. So Adam's still asleep. Symbolically, we're all still asleep. The world's not yet. Carry on, number 7.
The world has not yet experienced any comprehensive reawakening or rebirth. Yeah. That's
but I think it's remember this was written 60 years ago, roughly. So around 1965, 66. So we're getting on for 60 years. I think a lot's happened since then, isn't it? The 60s was sort of the start of some kind of rebirth, and it's accelerating. So we're living through that time, I think, of the comprehensive reawakening or rebirth, which would be the second coming of Christ, the coming of Christ consciousness, Christ awareness, shall we say, clear into the world, and it's happening quite a lot through this course. It's such a clear channel. A lot of people are using it to awaken. Okay, number 8.
Such a rebirth is impossible as long as you continue to project or miscreate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would leave it like that.
Projection is a miscreation. He's defining it. He's defining it very clear. Actually, it might be when we got this up. Go and have a look at our definition of projection. So we show you something clear there. Projection. You want to read that already? Projection is the ability.
The ability of the ego or belief in separation to project its thoughts outside of the mind and make up a world of form seemingly outside of the mind, which is just projected thought. So the Big Bang was just a projection of thought that brought into seemingly physical existence all energy and matter. Now, as seemingly separate ego selves living in bodies, we continually project our thoughts onto other people and things so we don't have to take responsibility for them. We blame other people for our problems, which is trying to project our guilt for the separation onto others to make them guilty and get ourselves off the hook of the imagined punishment by God that we fear.
Quite a long definition, but it's quite a complex mechanism. the projection of thought outwards. We literally, projection is you know, the saying, stating that we went out of our minds and we went into form, into a body, into form, through this initial projection. That was the Big Bang. And now that projection mechanism continues. We keep going out of our minds, projecting onto the outside world. And we do that to try and eliminate our guilt.
Yeah.
So, well, you're the guilty one. I'm not guilty, you're guilty. Therefore, you have the guilt, I don't. Therefore, I'm off the hook. And God's not going to punish me, God's going to punish you. We're not conscious of that, but that's, you know, subconsciously what we try to do whenever we accuse, blame, and complain towards someone. Which is not going to work, because the more we do that, the more we actually perpetuate the guilt. We say, I'm guilty, I'm trying to get rid of my guilt. So I'm giving you guilt, means I must have lots of it to give. So, you know, I keep creating the guilt from this false idea that I'm actually separate from my source, which is the source of the blame and the attack and the accusation. And until I'm willing to look at the source of the guilt and recognize that it's not true, there's no answer. I just keep projecting. I get stuck in the cycle of projection perception. I make it real, and it's, you know, it's a miserable reality. Okay, so that's projection, and it's miscreation. So whenever he uses the word projection, he's referring to the ego. So you know that very clearly in the course. And the alternative is extension. It says the spirit, you know, the spirit extends, love extends, and the ego projects as the miscreator, the miscreative use of mind. Instead of extending in one line with the source, you now do your own thing, and you think that you're separate. You have a distortion, and then you project from a sense of lack. Well, I'm not actually who I am. I feel lacking. I project that out and experience the lack. Okay.
It still remains within you, however, to extend as pure formless awareness of perfect love extended. His spirit to you still remains within you, however, to extend as pure formless awareness of perfect love extended.
Still remains within you. Still remains within you. So
It's
how about you still have the power? You still have the power
to extend
as
pure formless awareness of perfect love.
Extends instead of extended.
Its spirit to you.
Yeah, extends. Its spirit is what? It's the awareness, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awareness to you.
Oh.
Yeah.
The spirit is just the pure formless awareness of perfect love. It's another name for the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
in reality, this is your only choice, because your free will was given you for your joy in creating the perfect. In reality, this is your only choice, because your free will was given you for your joy in extending the perfect. On creating the perfect.
Yeah, so your I think we translated free will as awareness, free awareness.
Because your free awareness, your awareness, or your awareness. You have to live free.
Well, let's use free, because it is, that awareness is totally free. That awareness is not bound by any limitation.
Okay.
Hey, Jackie, I'll just mute you, okay? Because your free awareness
was given
was
you,
given to you.
Was given to you.
Yeah,
For your joy.
you.
Yeah, was given to you.
Your joy in creating the perfect.
For your joy in creating.
Your joy in extending
the perfect. Yeah.
extending the perfect.
Yeah.
And then maybe the perfect should be capitalized. Yeah, perfect. What do you think? Just gonna do this like that.
And extending.
One here. There you go. Isn't quite like that. Do my switch. Okay. So actually, we discussed you don't really have a choice. It's actually your only choice is to be free.
Yeah.
Choose your free awareness, and you extend the perfect in your own mind, and you extend it out in your thoughts, words, and actions. And that's your only true choice.
Yeah.
Any choice that makes any sense. The ego's choice is insane. It doesn't make sense. But while you're still here, you could choose that.
Yeah.
It's a possible choice, but it's not a freeing choice. It's an imprisoning choice.
Yeah.
To think that that's free will is not correct. Free will is free awareness given freely to you by pure formless awareness of perfect love. And if you totally identified, if you're in that free awareness, if you've ever had really a mystic kind of blissful revelation experience, that's free awareness.
Yeah.
That's what he's pointing to. There's no limitation there. There's no lack. There's no scarcity. It's complete. It's whole. It's perfect. And then you can extend that from that state of perfection. Your knowingness that that's true. You're then extending from that state into the world. So take my example. I had this awareness, did the Vipassana retreat, and then thereafter it was like extending that awareness through this course into the world, to others' awareness, to extend the perfect that I'd experienced in that moment. It was perfection, and then you feel inspired to extend that and teach it, help others to connect with it. Because what else is there? That just the perfect state. That's what everyone's actually looking for.
Yeah.
So it's in one line, from the source to me, experienced it, and then I become the extension of that source into the world to extend it to you, and you get it, and then you extend it to others, and so it continues. It's like a spreading, extending throughout the whole world, one person to another, in an interlocking chain of forgiveness that is the at-one-ment, as he says. Okay, so you want to summarize number 3? What's he saying there?
I thought you just did that. I thought you just summarized it. Yeah.
No, I was talking about the last 2 lines, but I want you to do it, because in the doing of it, you learn.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what is he saying? Summary on the whole paragraph.
So you can choose to believe in your false projection, and living in that dream, or you can choose to have the power to be the pure formless awareness of perfect love and extend it to others.
Yeah, summary. I mean, the Adam stuff's interesting. That was, that's a symbol. Okay, so Adam's a symbol of man, first man. So he's saying, okay, that's symbolic in the Bible. The Adam went to sleep, seemed to be expelled out of the garden, but actually he never woke up. So his expulsion.
He stayed in there.
Yeah, his expulsion from the garden is all a dream.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not real.
Yeah, so that's why I say he stayed in the dream.
No, he never woke up. That's what he's saying. We're still in the dream world, thinking that we separate from the pre-separation condition, thinking that we're outside of the Garden of Eden, but actually that's still there. The garden's still there. We're just dreaming that we're not in the garden. We've been expelled, and the world is tough and difficult and harsh and full of sin and guilt and fear and attack and so on. But actually we're just sleeping. A deep sleep, and the world hasn't yet experienced a comprehensive rebirth or reawakening. And you can't continue. I think a key point, such a rebirth is impossible as long as you continue to project
or miscreate. Yeah.
You keep doing that, you'll never awaken to your true self.
Mm. Yeah.
So you must stop doing that, and that's
Must
letting
wake up,
go
waking
of
up,
the ego's intentions, the
projections.
desires. You've got to stop that in order to correct and open the way for the true self to reawaken. So it's a real block, the projection miscreation. That's why, going on, let's say, some track where you're going, I'm going to create a better reality for myself, may seem to be something that's useful, but actually it will probably take you down the track of projection and miscreation, and the problems perpetuated. You might have, seemingly more power in the dream, more money, more power going that route, but actually you might be further away from the truth through that process. So it's not necessarily helping you, probably taking you in the wrong direction. Which, from there, if you did do that, let's say you're a celebrity, you did that, you thought it was going to work, you realize actually being a celebrity is not what it's cut out to be. I still have my problems and issues. Then that would then be your chance then to awaken. You go, okay, well, I've done all that and that didn't work, so what next? And then you might get into spirituality.
Yeah.
So there's always a way. The spirit will find a way. But he's saying, look, you can save yourself a lot of time. Don't follow these pointless paths. Now that he's telling you very clearly
To choose the right path. Yeah.
Choose the right path. Stick to this path. It's a path of awakening, and it's a direct route. It's very quick because of that. He doesn't want you to dilly-dally in time and take hundreds of lifetimes. He's trying to correct your mind in one lifetime and free you. So it's, I believe it's the very direct, possibly the most direct, simple path to take if you really want to awaken.
Yeah.
If you don't want to awaken, there's many paths. There's loads of things that you can do, and they'll keep you very busy and caught up in whatever the illusion is in the dream world. But
you stayed sleeping.
You're still sleeping. You're just dreaming. So your dream might be happier sometimes, and then it's not so happy. But awakening is realizing that it was all a dream, and it's true. And your true free will, again, he makes the point, is given by God. It's given by the pure formless awareness of perfect love. It extends its awareness to you. You are in that awareness. That awareness is yours, and that's your true will. So that's where you're truly free, and nowhere else. And then you can extend that free awareness given to you can be extended in your thoughts, words, and actions into the world. You extend the perfect into the world, and you bring about the miracles that come from this perfection. That's it's being extending into the world through you. Okay, kind of helps you a bit with that, but never mind, it's all good. Got the summary done. All fear ultimately reducible. Who wants to read next? Who hasn't read? Elaine, Susie, or Sally still on the call? Sally was around. Was Sally dropped off?
Yeah, I can read.
Okay.
All fear is ultimately reducible to the basic misconception that you have the ability to usurp the power of God. Should I continue?
Yeah, so let's do the alternative.
Yeah.
All fear is ultimately reducible to the basic misperception that you have the ability to usurp the power of pure formless awareness of perfect love. I'll just make that the power of perfect love, shall we?
Yeah, last night we changed usurp by another word. What did we say
No.
instead of usurp?
Yeah. Well, it's a substitution, isn't it?
Yeah. To change.
To replace. It's to replace or to substitute.
To replace. Yeah, to replace.
Replace the power of perfect love. So it's a very fearful thought to go, oh my goodness, I can actually do this. I can replace this power that's perfect, it's whole, it's complete, and I've got the power to replace it with something else. And then we actually fear ourselves. We fear our own mind. We go, oh my God, that's terrifying. How could I do that? The ego is just scared of itself. Which makes no sense at all. Well, stop doing it. But has anyone experienced that? It's like, oh my God, like, yeah, I have actually done that. And I could, horribly mess up, and you feel the tendency, the temptation of the ego to replace this power and cause you, it's going to cause you pain and suffering because of it. And yet, although, even when you're aware of it, there's still a temptation to do it. It's bizarre. It's like I know it's not right, but there's still some kind of temptations and pulling power towards, taking the wrong path. Has anyone else experienced that?
Yeah.
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 So, it's the mind training is to be aware of that and go, okay, but I don't have to. I see it for what it is. It's the ego tempting me. And there's another awareness that says, no, you don't need to go down that path. You don't need more pain to awaken. You can awaken just by letting it go and staying on track, staying in tune with the spirit, be guided and let it go. And it'll be fun. And if you do that. Okay. So next one. Of course, you neither can or have been able to do this.
2.
No.
Of course, you need. Yeah. 2. Of course, you neither can nor have been able to do this.
It's
Yeah.
difficult. You can't do it.
Yeah. And again,
There's the
of course,
answer. You can't do it. Not possible.
you neither can nor have you been able to do this.
Yeah, I think we can keep that the same. Right.
Yeah.
Number 3. Here's the basis.
Here is the real basis for your escape from fear. Here is the real basis for your escape from fear.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that needs translation.
Yeah.
Or
The escape is brought about by your acceptance of the at-one-ment atonement, which enables you to realize that your errors never really occurred. You want the alternative? Here is the real basis for your escape from fear. Oh, sorry. No. The escape is brought about by your acceptance of the at-one-ment, which enables you to realize that your errors never really occurred. And that's it.
So that's the only basis, right? Acceptance of that one-ment, which says oneness still is, it's still there, it's still perfect, nothing's really happened. You can't replace the power of God, can't replace this power in your mind. It's impossible. You realize your errors never really occurred.
Yeah.
Never really happened. That's what radical forgiveness is based on. Seemed to happen, seemed to be in the dream, but actually it never really happened. The dream is not true. The nightmare is actually over because I've woken up to the fact that it's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the next one. Only after
5.
the deep sleep.
Only after the deep sleep fell upon Adam could he experience nightmares. The alternative? If a light suddenly turned on while someone is dreaming a fearful dream, he may initially interpret the light itself as part of his dream and be afraid of it.
Is that clattering with you, Elaine?
That it was, it's my husband.
Right.
Got crisps.
Right. Okay. That was Loud
Putting
crisps.
he's putting a load of salt on it.
Right. Okay.
So he's got his headphones on, so he can't hear. But we
Right,
can hear
okay.
him.
Okay.
Right, sorry.
That's okay.
6.
So the light is suddenly turned on.
While someone is dreaming a fearful dream, he may initially interpret the light itself as part of his dream and be afraid of it.
So we're dreaming, and we've probably all had that. Light goes on, it's like, oh, like, and then you might have a few moments still in the dream, and then you wake up. The light itself is part of his dream, and be afraid of it.
Yeah.
However, when he awakens,
Quite persistent, though, that the other thought, the ego thought system, very persistent.
Can I turn these lights off, love?
Yeah.
yeah,
So it is,
very
it's,
persistent. It is very
Yeah.
persistent.
yeah, very.
So darkness, it's a million Einstein said that, I think it's a million optical delusion of consciousness, albeit a rather persistent one.
Yes,
It
certainly.
doesn't just disappear, unfortunately. Oh, I just
No.
woke up and
You think you've
if
done
it
it.
disappears, then that's revelation, and it can happen from time to
Yeah.
time on the day. But it comes back. You come back
Yeah,
to the dream, into this persistent nightmare, really.
yeah.
But if you don't perceive it as real, then you're free.
Oh, yeah.
There's no
Yeah. it's
need
just-
for it to stress you, cause you any pain or suffering if you recognize that it's not real.
Yeah. It's that belief, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, so however, when he awakens,
However, when he awakens, the light is correctly perceived as the release from the dream, which then no longer accorded reality. That's the alternative.
that is so much to change there. I'll just change it, accorded to given, I think. Is no longer given reality,
Mhm.
but less formal. Okay, this release.
This release does not depend on illusions.
Okay.
So the Holy Spirit's obviously releasing you. Yeah. Because your ego self can't release you at all, can it? Which is the
Yeah.
illusion.
Right.
Yeah.
Ego just imprisons you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the release doesn't depend on any illusions, doesn't depend on the dream. It's coming from beyond the dream.
Yeah. Next one, shall I do? The knowledge that illuminates not only sets you free, but also shows you clearly that you are free.
Yeah. And I think we should capitalize knowledge. He talks about the domain of knowledge. That's a synonym for pure formless awareness, perfect love, oneness, beingness. The knowledge, right? So when you have the knowledge, we're not talking about loads of facts and figures and understanding a lot about the illusion. It's the knowledge of who you are. Know thyself. I know myself as I am. I'm identified only with that self, and I have knowledge, and that knowledge illuminates my mind. So it sets me free, but also shows you clearly that you are free. It tells you you are free right now in this awareness. You are free.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to summarize this?
Yeah.
Or what's he saying? Summary?
The fear and illusions or just misperceptions, and we don't have the ability to change. It's the the source, the perfect love comes from there. And which enables you to release your errors that never really occurred, and you know, only after the deep sleep. And he experienced nightmares.
So we went into a little like sleep or bubble. It's like an altered state where the separation seemed to be real. We experienced a nightmare. But actually we're just in another part of our mind. We're sleep and dreaming in this little bubble, which we now call ourselves and the world and our reality. Sleep and dreaming there, but actually our true awareness is unaffected. It remains unaffected by any of this.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
So the light is, correctly perceived as the release from the dream. So we might be scared of it while we're in the dream. Someone shines and you go, oh, don't shine the light. You've had someone switch on the lights when you sleep. It's awful, isn't it? It's like, oh, I don't want to wake up. Oh, turn it, too bright. We can have that similar reaction. Oh, the light comes. I've been asleep for so long in my dark dream. Oh, no, that's painful. I don't want to know it. The Matrix, he's been saved, he brought up into the white light in the ship. And he's like, why do my eyes hurt? And Morpheus says, because you never used them. It's like, it's just unfamiliar. You never used these spiritual eyes. It's unfamiliar. It feels like the unknown. And then you react in fear. You want to contract back and go, no, that's fearful. The light's fearful. But actually the light is releasing you.
Yeah.
So go to it. Knowledge that illuminates not only sets you free, but also shows you clearly that you are free. So the knowledge brings this light. Light is true awareness. It sets you free of limited awareness, and it shows you clearly that you are free now. You are this free awareness. You have free will, in other words. Beyond choice, you're already free in that awareness. Okay.
Yeah.
So well done. Summary. So I think this is the last one, actually. Number 5. Who would like to read number 5? Who hasn't read? So Susie, Christine.
Shall I do it?
Yeah. Okay. Sally's still on.
Can you make it a bit bigger? Can you make the print a bit bigger?
Yeah. Can zoom into 150. Should we make it? There we go. Big enough?
Yeah. Whatever lies you may believe are of no concern to the miracle, which can heal any of them with equal ease.
Yeah, alternatively.
Whatever lies you may believe are of no concern to the correction, which can heal any of them with equal ease. Bit of luck.
Okay. So that's the restatement of there's no order of difficulty in miracles.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how deep the lies are. The correction can correct all of them. Can heal all of them with equal ease. Can heal any of them, which can, let me just be more clear, which can let go of any of them with equal ease. How about that?
Yeah.
So the correction is this letting go process. You don't really heal lies. You let go of them. The false beliefs. You let go of the false beliefs. Can't really heal a false belief as such. You can just let it go. Okay. Number 2.
It makes no distinctions among misperceptions. assume that's the same down the next one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes the distinctions among the misperceptions. Soul can turn, I think that's going to be the same as well. Just to distinguish.
Its sole concern is to distinguish between truth on the one hand and error on the other.
Yeah.
Some miracles or corrections may seem to be of great magnitude than others. So can be of greater magnitude than others.
Hmm.
I'll reverse say it. But remember the first,
Greater magnitude. Yeah. Okay. Happy with that.
yeah. But remember the first principle of this course, there is no order of difficulty in corrections or miracles. Yeah.
Yeah. When you translate it as a correction, it makes much more sense, doesn't it? The correction happens in your mind. There's no order of difficulty in that. It's just a correction made in your mind. If you think of miracles as external to you, then it does seem to be difficult because, well, how can you say there's no order of difficulty in what's happening externally? Okay, what are you saying? People can get into ridiculous arguments. Like you saying you can, move a mountain. Yeshua's recorded in the Bible. He said you can move a mountain with your belief. You're saying that can really happen. Come on, that's there's an order. You can't move a mountain. You can't do this. But they misinterpret the miracle. They're seeing it on the physical level, focusing on the phenomenal manifestation rather than on the internal shift, which is the correction, which is what the miracle really is.
I worked with a disabled group for a while. I wanted to get people out of their wheelchairs and walking, and knowing that it was their mind that needed to change, but they were very blocked by the physical reality. So didn't happen. And also because they didn't get benefits if they got out of the wheelchairs. But there we go.
Well, I see. So then the mind actually is choosing it.
Yeah.
Say, get out of your wheelchair, and the mind's, no, actually, I think I can't, it's kind of comfortable. And
Yeah.
so it has to be a choice. The correction must be that person's own choice. No one can choose for them. It's a miracle worker. You can give them an example. You can do a correction in your own mind that might inspire them to make their own correction. It's possible, but they must still choose. No one can choose for them. Which is why this process of at-one-ment seems to take a long time, because the mind is stuck in a false choice and it keeps choosing wrongly, and it must learn to choose correctly, and that's a process that's going to take, he says, millions of years. The last judgment will happen over millions of years, as did the separation. So it's a process of the mind's learning, correcting themselves. But it doesn't have to take that for you. If you're on this track, you understand this. Why do you need to take many lifetimes? You could just make the corrections in this life and be done. That's what he's saying to us. There's no order of difficulty in corrections. Explaining that a bit more. First principle of miracles. Number 6.
6, all right. In reality, you are perfectly unaffected by all expressions of lack of love. Great. These can be from yourself and others, from yourself to others, from others to you.
So any of it, doesn't matter whether it's coming at you from someone else. That's usually what affects us, but it could be you've done something, you've acted in an unloving way. You're perfectly unaffected. So there's a natural forgiveness. You did something, it was an error, but in reality, you're perfectly unaffected. So whatever you did has no effect on your true nature and true being. So then you let it go. You return your mind to that unaffected state. So this is the essence of self-forgiveness, really, isn't it? Whatever I did, I'm unaffected. My true being is not affected by any of this.
Peace is an attribute in you. You cannot find it outside. Made me laugh because that's why, obviously, my paragraph, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, we chose peace, didn't you?
Yeah. I run a group. I run a group, and I'm forever telling them, can't find it outside. It's inside. And they, yeah. Anyway, takes a while for it to sink in. Illness is some form of external searching. So, what is the searching for? Love, for completeness.
Yeah. We're
Pure
searching for what we think we're missing, which is our true awareness, divine love, and feeling the peace and the comfort. We're safe in that. In divine love, there's no fear. There's nothing to worry about, nothing to fear. We can't be hurt. We can't die. So illness is some form of external searching. That's interesting. So you're ill, and it's always boils down to a form of external searching. I'm searching outside of myself for the answer. And that causes illness, physical illness, mental illness. Mental illness, all mental illness is a form of external searching. So what he's saying is our entire society is ill. That's what he's saying, because everyone's looking outside. External searching is the way the world works, the ego works, which is the definition of illness. So it's a sick society. Searching outside of ourselves for what is actually within us. And we've invented a whole, illusory reality, the system, the commercial system, the system of making and earning money, and spending money, consumer society. It's all a form of external searching, isn't it? If you look at it, the entire construct of our society is based on searching. If you weren't searching, then why would you need to go buy a whole lot of this stuff? There's certain basic needs, maybe food, clothing, shelter, but there's a lot of things that you don't really need at all. You're searching for something and then told, well, this is what you need. And marketers play on this. If people weren't searching, then there could be no marketing, would there? If everyone's like, well, I'm actually perfectly fine as I am, then I can't be induced to buy something because I think I'm okay as I am, unless I really need it. It's a basic kind of fundamental need, like for some clothes or food. But most of marketing is not directed at those kinds of products. It's actually directed at the things we desire. Oh, no, you need this, you want this, it's a status symbol. Think of how they sell luxury goods. It's all based on an external search. And then they show some guy looking very suave and sophisticated drinking his whiskey, or some, gorgeous blonde draped over over an expensive car, and then they're saying basically you are searching for yourself, a better self. And if you buy this product, you will have that self. Completely false identification. Like, you can find yourself in a bottle of whiskey or some perfumed water. It's ridiculous, but that's the illusions that get spun. So our world is, as he's saying, it's mentally ill, profoundly sick society. And I think J. Krishnamurti, an Indian teacher, said it is no measure of mental health if you are well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. That's not mental health, that's actually illness. So the more you adjust to this society, the more mentally ill you become. Because health is inner peace, as he says. Health is inner peace. Well, that's a nice line you can use in your health is inner peace. When you're feeling peaceful, then you're healthy. And in fact, we see it in the illness. Another word for illness is disease. dis-ease. It's right in there, you know, it's a dis-ease. No peace, dis-ease causes physical symptoms.
And carry on.
Yeah.
It enables you to remain unshaken by lack of love from without and capable through your acceptance of corrections, of correcting the conditions proceeding from lack of love in others. Quite a long sentence, isn't it?
Yeah.
It enables you to remain unshakable by lack of love from without and capable through your acceptance of corrections of correcting the conditions proceeding from lack of love in others. Huh. Funny way of saying it, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. To maybe benefit from some translation. You know, correcting the conditions preceding, maybe resulting. Might
Yeah.
be some
Result.
resulting. Conditions resulting from lack of love in others. So someone's, you know, made an error. You do your own internal correction, and you can actually correct the conditions that result from lack of love in others as a miracle worker, because you can extend the love that's needed in the situation in your thoughts, words, and actions. Obviously, that'll look different in every situation, but it's telling us we have that power. I love that word, unshaken and unshakable. It's a lovely, you know, I'm unshakable. I can't be shaken by the world. So the world comes, the ego comes with its illusions and goes, oh, let's try and rattle your cage and shake you around. And then you go, no, I remain, you know, rooted in my true awareness, unshaken by the lack of love from without. So I know, you know, some people have shared on the calls orally, other people facing lack of love. Your job is to remain unshaken and unshakable. And if you can stay there in your true awareness, then you can correct the conditions that result from the lack of love in those people who are trying to shake you with their lack of love. That is possible if you ask for guidance. You know, what should I do? From this unshaken, unshakable state, I'm not fearing, I'm not angry, I'm just in my higher awareness. Okay, what should I do now? What would love do? How can I be truly helpful? And then you listen for the guidance. Because that it's really the will of God. There's no order of difficulty in miracles. That's the will of pure formless awareness coming through. That awareness coming through you to correct the conditions. Not really you doing it. You're just going to be directed as to what it is you should say and do. Okay?
Yeah.
So, to summarize that paragraph, what's he saying there in summary?
There's no order of difficulty. Lack of love can't affect us. Illness is searching outside. Inner peace is the way to go. And to do the internal corrections and extend love.
All illness, and the key point for me is illness is some form of external self-searching, and health is inner peace. So you want to be truly healthy, stop searching. Same insight as the Buddha, you know, stop the craving. See, the source of your suffering, your illness, dukkha you call it, dissatisfaction, is craving, searching continuously. And you find health when you accept that you are already perfect. There's no need to search because you already are there. You don't need anything else. No marketer can sell you a product based on a false identity that it's offering you, because you're quite happy with your current identity. You know who you are. There's no desire for anything else. That's health, which will bring you inner peace. You know, if you know who you are, the I am, we did the I am breathing again today. I am that I am is perfectly healthy because it's not trying to be anything else. and what it is. So you can become very resilient. So what we're talking about here is resilience, isn't it? That's a buzzword. I've seen it in the last couple of years in personal growth circles. They're even talking about a resilience quotient. You know, you have the IQ, and then you have the emotional intelligence, emotional quotient, and then spiritual, and now it's resilience. Someone's come up with a resilience quotient. But resilience comes from your unshakable self. So resilience comes from your spiritual intelligence, the knowing that you are not bound by form and time and space and all the circumstances in your life. That knowing gives you the resilience to remain unshaken by lacks of love in whatever form they seem to come. Yeah. Any other thoughts on that? So what we generally do, just so we go personalized executive summary, is we just go and take the key line to summarize out of the each paragraph and stick it in there, and then you've got one executive summary, one paragraph that kind of summarizes the whole thing in a way. So number one, what's the key line here? That's inappropriate use. It's all about projection and extension. Appropriate use of extension leaves some emptiness, that you can fill it with your own ideas instead of truth. I think that's probably the key line for me. What do you think?
Yeah, it's good.
Some emptiness or lack, and you can fill your own ideas instead of truth. And or a number of steps. Maybe we just leave that. It's going to become too long. Steps, you have to go into the details. So number two, all fear is ultimately reducible to the basic misperception, the ability to usurp the power of God. You neither can or have been able to do this. So we fell asleep basically. I need to write something there. Fell asleep and did not awaken. It's personalized. So when I believe some emptiness or lack exists in me, and that and fill it with my own ideas instead of truth. And fell asleep and did not awaken. Symbolic of humanity still being asleep and dreaming. Not really human. And in reality, we are knowledge. We have the knowledge of knowledge or the awareness. Maybe we should just say we have we have and are the pure formless awareness of perfect love. Well, happy with that?
Yep.
Number 3. He's saying in number 3, Garden of Eden is the pre-separation condition. The Bible says a deep sleep. All is an experienced still have the power to extend. Okay, so something like that. Extends its awareness to me. And in reality, I see as my only choice, because my free awareness was given to me to experience joy in extending it. How about that? So what he's saying there is that the joy will come when we extend this awareness, and that's our flow, that's our bliss. You know, follow your bliss. It comes as a natural extension of our awareness. My only choice, because this awareness given to me freely to experience joy in extending it. Okay. So
What about and extending it instead of in? Put end, no?
really to experience joy.
And extending it.
No, that wouldn't make sense. Joy in extending it. The joy comes through the extending, or joy through extending it. See?
Oh yeah.
That's what it,
Yep.
joy through extending it. So
Yeah.
in the extension, I experience my joy and my bliss.
Yeah.
Of this awareness, and that extension can happen in, you know, various ways. So it's actually unique to each person. So how that extension will happen.
Yeah.
So that becomes your, you know, your special function or your higher purpose, which will bring you the greatest joy and also the lessons to learn in this seeming illusion or reality. Okay, so knowledge that illuminates where all fear is ultimately reducible. Basic misperception that you have the ability to replace the power of perfect love. Knowledge that illuminates not only sets free, but also shows you clearly that you are free. Okay, so that's quite an important point. We'll get that. Come back. My fear comes from my misperception that I have the ability to replace the power of perfect love. I cannot do this. And so all my nightmares from separation or unreal, and I can let go of them and be free. Something like that. Happy with that? Whatever lies you may believe. So say there's no order of difficulty in miracles. So there's no magnitude. So, type it, I think. There's no magnitude of order, difficulty, making corrections. They're all internal shifts. Internal changes of mind. All internal changes of mind. And then he talks about health and inner peace. It's the last sort of point. Illness is some form. That's a nice way to end it. Well, illness is some change. I will be, personalize it, I will be ill. Or as I continue searching externally. And healthy when I find inner peace. I experience inner peace. Peace. Enables me to remain unshaken by lack of love. From outside me, capable through my correcting the conditions resulting from lack of love in others. Correcting the results of lack of love in others. Okay, what was that? So, who wants to read the summary? Ask someone else to read.
Yeah.
Susie still on?
Okay.
Susie there?
Yeah.
So the key messages of the section are?
I'm on my phone, but just give me a minute. I've just got to turn my phone round. The key messages of this section are the inappropriate use of extension or projection occurs when I believe that some emptiness or lack exists in me and that I can fill it with my own ideas instead of truth. Mm.
Okay. I'm just thinking maybe we can say it. I use extension. I extend inappropriately or project. So what we're trying to do is make it personal, you see? So it's your personalized, you can kind of go, okay, so these are the lessons I can learn out of this. I extend inappropriately or project. And I believe that some emptiness or lack exists in me and that I can fill it with my own ideas instead of truth.
Mm.
Okay. And second paragraph is Adam fell asleep.
Adam fell asleep and did not awaken, which is symbolic of humanity still being asleep and dreaming. We are really human when in reality we have and are the pure formless awareness of perfect love.
Okay.
Mhm.
Next one.
I still have the power to extend as pure formless awareness of perfect love extends its awareness to me, and in reality, this is my only choice because this awareness was given to me freely to experience joy through extending it.
Okay. Anything coming up for you? Any thoughts, comments?
No, I think all of it, fantastic, really, because obviously I've only come across the Course in Miracle for a year, I think. And yeah, there's just something always.
Yeah, what do you think this? I mean, what we're trying to do here is make it more helpful. So if you could read this, let's say in next year, you come here, you get this document, you read the executive summary, personalized, and you go, okay, just personalize it for me. Here are the key messages from the section that I can actually apply. That's why we're doing it.
To be honest, John, I couldn't have read the others for you because if you're going to ask me to summarize it, I would have shit myself because I haven't got a clue what to say. But you have made it so easy for me now to understand this because I get it a lot better now. Because I really couldn't have done the others. Because if you're going to tell me, I would have just been. I think that's why I didn't say no to read because I don't mind reading, but I couldn't get it. But now, you're right. I am understanding it better. But I didn't know, it could be ignorance on my part. I don't really know much about Adam that you put. So when you said he fell asleep and he never woke up again, but you're on
Well, the
about
story
Adam
goes
and
that God breathed life into Adam. He put him to sleep in order to create Eve, I think it was, from his rib. Put him to sleep, and then Eve was created, and that's the story. And there's no reference to him ever waking up. I mean, he's just using it as it's kind of okay. Well, actually, symbolically, we're still asleep. He's using a biblical reference quite cleverly to say, actually, maybe the whole Bible thereafter, the whole human story from Adam is illusion because he never woke up. So just giving us a different take, and he does biblical references every now and then. He talks about the Bible, which usually in a helpful way, just pointing you to things in the Bible you might not have understood or phrases, and then you interpret them, and you go, yeah. I mean, reading the Bible from this perspective of the Course be quite different. In fact, it's something that sort of came to my mind that I should translate the New Testament into this alternative language. Might be helpful for people. Might also cause a whole lot of controversy, but anyway, whatever.
Maybe that's what you're here to do.
Yeah, well, if you look at the great masters, Yeshua, Buddha, particularly Lao Tzu, possibly as well. They came and they created a change, didn't they? They didn't just go, okay, the existing order is all correct, they would change agents. They said, no, actually, it's not correct. We're going to give another teaching, which shifted things. It moved humanity on from, a maybe quite stuck thought system into something more liberating, and then established those shifts in belief became the religions, that they became Christianity and Buddhism. So, you had to shake things up, not just to say the status quo is correct when it's not, and to have the courage to do that. So,
Well, I need to embed that last paragraph that I just read. I still have the power to extend His pure formless awareness of perfect love. Extends its awareness to me, and in reality, this is my early choice because this awareness was given to me freely to experience joy. Through extending it, still feel I have a story going off about, the past, something to do with childhood, about making others happy, and because I couldn't do it, I'd failed or something. So I really need to embed this one in.
Yeah, well, if you like, we can do a little meditation on it, depending on what your time's like, on this executive summary paragraph. We won't do it on the whole thing, but on the executive summary, just to, it's about making it internalized, isn't it? Saying, okay, so you read it, does it actually hit home? Does something land and you go, okay, I becomes I can apply this. I still have the power to do this. My choice is to extend this awareness, my thoughts, words, and actions, and it becomes very personal and helpful in your transformation.
Well, I do believe childhood trauma makes you disassociate from a lot of things, and I don't think I felt a lot. Although I went through it, I didn't, I didn't want to go there. But now I'm understanding now that you've got to go there and let it go. So that'd be really good.
Okay.
My fear.
Carry on. Yeah, my fear comes from my.
My fear comes from my misperception that I have the ability to replace the power of perfect love, but I cannot really do this, and so all my nightmares that come from this separation are unreal, and I can let go of them and be free.
So I think I've really replaced the power of perfect love. It's a very fearful idea. Oh, what have I done? Terrible. It's me. I'm guilty. I'm shameful. But he's saying it's not possible. You can't. So just go easy. You can't really do it. It's just a delusion that you could do. So no big deal. Just see the delusion for what it is and let it go. And all your nightmares that come from the delusion will disappear.
There is no magnitude or order of difficulty in miracles or corrections because they are all internal changes of mind. I will be ill as long as I continue searching externally, and healthy when I experience inner peace that enables me to remain unshaken by lack of love from outside me and capable of correcting the results of lack of love in others.
So I can actually be a correction worker, miracle worker. I can correct these results through my unshakability. If I act from that state of mind, from the unshakable state, then I can correct the results of lack of love in others and become an agent for positive change in the world. So very empowering, and the personalized executive summary is just to say, okay, I can do this. I have the power. It's within me. Let me own this. Let me make this section mine and apply it. And hopefully this will make the course, the text, because the text can be quite theoretical and dry. And I think some people go, okay, so what does that actually mean? How does this apply to me? It's well, okay, apply it in the personalized executive summary. And then we can do a meditation on it, which won't be very long because it's only 1-2 paragraphs, say, which will just help you to contemplate it. So,
Yep.
Anyone's up for that? Want to do a quick meditation, maybe 10-15 minutes on it?
Yep.
Okay, so just making yourself comfortable. Just, okay, so just making yourself comfortable. Feet shoulder width apart, back straight, cup your hands in your lap. Close your eyes. And we start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. And the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pinching the sphincter muscle to lock the energy in. Draw the energy up the spine into your heart center. Put one hand on your heart. Connect with your heart space. And draw it up into the crown of your head. So you pause at the top of the inhale. And scan your mind. Thoughts, your emotions, any body sensations related to these. And just have a sense of letting go. Exhaling. Releasing. Out. Blowing it all away, the breeze of your breath. So nothingness that it really is. In the state of emptiness, openness, clarity, I'm going to consider this personalized executive summary coming from Course in Miracles. In section 1 of chapter 2, called The Origins of Separation. So, key messages of the section are just breathing in on each one, so nice deep breath in. And you're kind of inviting it into your energy. It helps you can breathe in light, onwards in a golden or white light into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, fiber of your being. In the light, say, I extend inappropriately or project when I believe that some emptiness or lack exists in me, and that I can fill it with my own ideas instead of truth. Breathe in on that realization. So you do that when trying to fill the hole in my mind, but the hole has caused my own false belief. It's a delusion. And I act on the delusion, I try and fill the lack created by the delusion, and I project and create more illusions. It's not going to work to really free me. Another exhale, blow out any emptiness or lack or darkness, letting it go. Breath into the nothingness that it really is. Tendency to look outside, to project. Then you go into the nothingness it really is. So breathing in again. Adam fell asleep, says Yeshua in the Bible, and there's no evidence of his waking up. So symbolic of humanity still being asleep and dreaming. Not really human, when in reality we have and are the pure forms of awareness of perfect love. So just inhale that, breathe in this awareness, your true awareness. Breathing it into every pore of your body, every cell. It's the awareness that will awaken you. It's in every part of your mind. It's in every fiber of your being. Because it's your fundamental awareness. It is the very essence of you, the being that you are. Breathe that in. So breath is just an invitation to allow whatever is there already to arise. You're not really drawing it in from an external source. Tapping into the internal source in your own mind. So feel that source, connect with it deeply, and then extend it out as you exhale. I still have the power to extend. As this source extends, as pure formless awareness of perfect love extends. It's awareness to me, so I extend this awareness to the world, to others. And in reality, this is my only choice, because this awareness was given to me freely to experience joy through extending it. Feel that joy coming through. You breathe it in, allow it to come in. It's your source inspiring you. Just the feeling. Allow that feeling in to every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body. And you can breathe in on the value, the quality of joy. Breathe in the color if you like. Maybe yellow, pink. Just a really joyous feeling coming in. And experience joy in extending it. When you exhale, feel that extension outwards, radiating the joy to everyone, every person, every loving creature that you come across. It's in this joy. And purpose is given to you freely to experience joy through extending it. So my fear comes from a misperception that I have the ability to replace the power of perfect love and to block this joy. I cannot really do this. cannot really do this. And so all my nightmares come from this separation or unreal. I can let go of them and be free. So breathe in any nightmares, any situations in your life that aren't happy. Breathe in. You acknowledge it, bring it into awareness. And then I'm going to just let it go. You exhale. Blow it all out. And breathe with your breath. The nothingness that it really is. It's going, going, gone. Presence leaving you like a dark cloud, black smoke, leaving you. You can just let go of all of this and be free. There's no magnitude or order of difficulty in miracles or corrections. They're all internal changes of mind. An internal shift, change of mind. You're making right now, it's a correction. So as long as I continue searching externally, as long as I continue that futile search for happiness, peace, and satisfaction outside of me, continue the search, and I will be ill. Disease, it's telling you. And disease caused by this constant searching and striving puts you in a state of dis-ease, which causes disease. All this. So just experience the inner peace. The health is inner peace. It's available to you right now, coming from your true self. It's unshakable. Allows you to remain unshaken by lack of love from outside me, capable of correcting the results of lack of love in others. So embrace the peace, breathe it into every pore, every cell, muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. In the deep peace of God that surpasses all understanding, it's been called. So I can remain unshaken by lack of love from outside me. Maybe there's a situation where someone's being difficult, attacking, hostile, aggressive, whatever. And you breathe the peace in, coming from your true self, and you remain unshaken and unshakable. So just breathe that peace in, knowing that in this peace lies all the answers. Everything that you truly need is there. Answer to every problem is there. Every correction you need to make comes through peace, brings you back to peace. Through this peace, you can extend it out, be a miracle worker in the world. Actually be capable of correcting the results of lack of love in others. So breathe in the peace, fuse it into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. Hold it briefly. Pause at the top of the inhale. So you feel that peace, breathing in and out through your nose. Observe the breath. Sink into peace, deeper and deeper peace, and then if there's any remaining darkness because of anything, any situation, person, place, and circumstance, you just drop it, let it all go into peace. As you're blowing away any dark energy like a dark cloud leaving you, it's going, gone to the nothingness that it really is. And what remains is this deep peace, stillness. And you just rest in that. And just sink into the peace. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Breathe, relax, be still. Be in the peace, the unshakable peace, perfect love. Surpasses all understanding. For the next couple of minutes of deep silence. When any thoughts arise that seem to disturb that peace, any ideas of external searching, just breathe in the peace again. Every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is in the peace, perfect love. And just blow out any dark thoughts, anything disturbing your peace, dark clouds leaving you, going, gone. Nothing as they really are, and you just rest in this deep peace and stillness. And so just gently coming back from this deep peace into an awareness of the body and the breath, senses and the world. And on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises and the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. And again, scan your mind, notice any thoughts going on, any emotions, any related body sensations, particularly if it feels at all negative, limiting, contracted, constricting in any way. Breathe into that. And let it go. Exhale, release. Throw it all away. Throw it all away with the breeze of your breath to the nothingness. It really is. It's going, gone. Right out of your energy system, out of your mind, out of your life. Just a tiny mad idea, false thought and emotion. You don't have to believe in these things. That's what Yeshua's saying. So, count of 2, notice the weight of your body pressing down into the chair and your feet touching the ground. Notice what you're feeling and touching. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth, smell in your nose. Notice what you're hearing in the surrounding environment. And I just notice all these things from this very still, calm, and surrendered state of mind. Without judgment, without interpretation. Everything changes, your perception shifts. So observe that change, shift in perception. The awareness is there, the peace is there, you're established in this awareness. And you know where else to go, nothing else to do. So awareness is you are this awareness, and it's going to guide you through the rest of your evening and on into tomorrow. So it's said, and so it is done. And on the count of 3, open your eyes. Just take a minute to look around. And as we look around, we'll just practice today's lesson one more time. So look around, remind yourself the key idea. Nothing I see means anything. And then apply that specifically to whatever you happen to look at. So any object your eyes focus on, just say this, whatever it is, name it, does not mean anything. This table does not mean anything. This wall does not mean anything. This hand does not mean anything. Look further afield, look behind you. This window does not mean anything. This door does not mean anything. This cupboard does not mean anything, and so on. It's applied to, say, a dozen objects. Just slowly, no rush, casually say it in your mind, and move on to something else. Notice what happens when you do that. And the deeper awareness arising. And you feel calmer, more connected. You feel like this peace that you had when your eyes were closed is still there. It's really been affected at all by the awareness of these seemingly external objects inside of you. So one more time, look around, say, nothing I see means anything. That just sit with you. Anchor this peaceful state in. And you'll set the intention to stay there for the rest of the evening. If anything disturbs your peace, just use the lesson again to help you correct it. So nothing I see means anything. So whatever it is that's disturbing you doesn't mean anything. It just means nothing. And in that lies your freedom. So that brings us to the end of the meditation and of today's session, I think. So thank you, everyone, for that. And wish you a very peaceful evening and sleep, and see you tomorrow afternoon, I hope, at the same time. Normal time, 12:30 UK, 1:30 French time. All right, namaste.
Thank you, John.
Namaste. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jono.
everyone.
Have a good
Bye.
evening.
Night.
Good night. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.